Okay, so welcome everyone to the 2.0 Man Japan podcast. My name is Bodhi Kenyon. I'm in Tokyo, Japan, in Toshimaku, and I have a very special guest all the way from Tacoma, Washington, in the US of A. His name is Dr. Sean Flaherty. Dr. Sean, welcome.
How's it going?
Good, man.
Thanks for having me. It's
a pleasure.
excited to be here.
Glad to have you.
Some like-minded individuals.
Right? So how is it in Tacoma, Washington right now?
Right now it's quite rainy
and
a little chilly. That's why I'm wearing my flannel.
Right. Looks good. What's the hat? JSP?
Oh, the hat is it's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu company.
Awesome.
That partnered with like a sweat. They make sweats and stuff.
All right.
And the two companies partnered together.
Cool.
Yeah.
JSP almost looks like Japan's something. J, there's a lot of J's, and Japan Tobacco is like JT. And
oh yeah.
Not that we're promoting that here, but
no.
Japan Railway, that's JR. There's lots of J's around here.
Okay.
All right.
It does have some Japanese roots, that's for sure.
Right.
Jiu-Jitsu.
That does, yeah, totally. Japan immigration to Brazil too is huge. A lot of people don't know that. Tons of Japanese in Brazil.
Maeda was the guy who brought it to Brazil. He jumped around to different countries to prove the effectiveness of. He was a student of Kano, I believe, so mostly judo. So anyway, he brought it to Brazil too to prove its effectiveness, and the Brazilians took it to another level, I guess. And that's called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Right.
There's still I believe I believe there's still a Japanese form, which might be more traditional.
Right.
And, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu kind of added in a lot of striking and different takedowns and different submissions. So
that's cool.
And now it's worldwide.
It is.
I love to do it.
Well, I don't know much about it. I don't know much about that, but it's quite popular here. Lots of Japanese people are doing it as well. So
is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu popular there?
It is.
Or just Jiu-Jitsu?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Jiu-Jitsu is definitely part of Japanese culture. I think all the police learn Jiu-Jitsu or Kendo, the stick, the samurai Kendo. But yeah, it's more associated with mixed martial arts, I think, the MMA scene. But yeah, definitely. Very deep part of the culture.
Still a lot of respect, even though it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's still a lot of respect for the Japanese heritage of it.
That's great.
Almost all the clothing lines you see, they'll inevitably, one of their T-shirts, they'll come out with a samurai on it, or
interesting,
some kind of saying from Musashi or something like that.
That's cool.
A lot of respect.
That's awesome.
Where it came from. Yeah.
I was just in Okinawa, which is the island south of Japan. And they say that the only dialect of Okinawa, the original spoken language of Okinawa, is only preserved in Brazil, which is it's kind of crazy if you think about it. Just people from Okinawa immigrated to Brazil, and then they kept that language there, where this land changed to Japanese after the war. So
wow.
Right. So
that's cool.
Yeah. All right. So Dr. Sean,
yes, sir.
Please tell us a little bit about your background, like what you do and anything that comes up. Yeah, just share.
I'm trained as a chiropractor. So that's what I've been doing for a little over 20 years now.
Okay.
So just practicing chiropractic, patients in the office. I got into that because of sport. My first adjustment ever, I was in 7th grade. And I threw my back out.
Wow. 7th grade.
7th grade. Yeah. And my dad took me to a chiropractor and I got adjusted and it was all better. And I didn't have a problem with it again until college. It turned out I have what's called I think you told me you have this condition,
Right.
spondylolisthesis.
I can't say the word like you do. I can't say it like you do.
A mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
Which is a hairline fracture in one of your vertebra, usually in the last vertebra in your spine.
Yeah.
Typically what happens. And it never heals because there's not the blood supply there. So usually happens from like a hard fall when you're a young child, or maybe if you're really active in sports, you get banged around a lot, you get that hairline fracture in your last lumbar, and it just doesn't heal. And so it not healing, it can slip easily, and just the tiniest little slip can cause some serious pain, debilitation, until you get it back in place.
Right.
So anyway, that's how I found chiropractic. And then I started playing rugby with a school that was associated with the chiropractic school, a team that was associated with the chiropractic school. And you didn't have to go to school there to play with them. But I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. You know, we're taking care of each other. We're learning about the body and using our hands. And
right.
So I was like, I'm going to go do this too. So that's how I became a chiropractor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And now we found each other through a new training system.
Right.
And that's what I'm more excited about now than chiropractic.
Oh, that's awesome. ATG.
Yeah. Because one of the reasons, I should say, there's a few reasons, but one of the reasons was that Spondy started acting up. And I was out camping with my family. And usually when it starts to come on, I'll go see a chiropractor and get adjusted to get myself straightened out again. But I was out camping and there was nobody to go to. So I had to figure it out because, like I said, it can be debilitating. And I started doing just basically 2 exercises, which was the split squat,
right,
and the elephant walk.
Okay.
Just my hamstrings and lengthening them, not necessarily stretching.
Right.
Ben makes a point to differentiate the two.
Oh, right.
Stretching and lengthening. So working on the lengthening,
right,
which and then the split squat, and it sure enough, it went away
right away.
And not right away. It took me. It's when I would do it, I'd do the split squat and then I'd do the hamstrings, and then I'd feel a little bit better. And then, an hour or so later, I'd do it again. And it kept feeling a little bit better.
Nice. Perfect.
And then 2 days later, it was gone.
Awesome.
And that was probably about 4 months ago. And I haven't seen a chiropractor since.
Wow.
I'm just like, I feel like, well, I'm not going to go see a chiropractor. I'm not going to go. I don't want to go.
Right.
I don't want to spend the time to go and sit in the office and,
right,
adjustment, and then take the time to drive back home, figure out how it's going to do my day if I can fix it myself. And so now I'm really passionate about teaching other people how to do that. Which isn't good for business.
Right, exactly, right. But
at least one aspect of it.
It's truth, right? That's the T in the athletic truth group, ATG.
Truth, man. And it just boils down to, I really want to help people. So
yeah,
I don't want to keep the truth. I want the truth to be known.
Sure.
Right. And I'm not saying I'll never go see a chiropractor again.
Right.
Or that chiropractic is wrong. Not by any means. I still see patients here.
Right.
But I try to teach every single patient how to do these things to maintain. So
that's awesome.
They don't have to come see me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way. I wish, I won't say anything about the medical field, but it'd be nice if, I won't say anything about it.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, to give people that, and opportunities will come from other directions you're not even aware of, right? Yeah, it's not going to be detrimental to your business long term. People will trust you, and
yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I had this experience, and for me, it was 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was very helpful because it really made me think of, wow. I mean, I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to walk to the station. I've got a 5-minute walk to the train station here, and I would have
Mm-hmm.
to stop and pause. And I thought, I'm never going to be surfing again. I'm never going to be doing these things again.
Right.
And that lasted on and off for about 2 years. Severe pain, kind of get better. Winter
Mm-hmm.
was especially hard. Man, I mean, if you can teach people to fix that with a couple of
Yeah.
exercises, and diet, maybe.
So did you go see a chiropractor for the condition?
I saw two spinal specialists,
Mm-hmm.
three, and one said just deal with the pain, just try to deal with the pain as much as you can. I had just started my gym.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. And these are top guys. These are like, Tokyo University's like Harvard of the United States.
Gotcha.
So I saw the best guy I could see.
Mm.
He's like, yeah, we can. And he showed me, I think it's 2 millimeters in or something. The L5, just like you said, the lumbar 5
Mm-hmm.
was, yeah. And he said, don't know when it happened, probably when you're about 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was riding BMX bikes. I fell on my back tons of times. So,
Yeah.
not BMX bike, like, bicycles, that kind of jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
And then swimming, I heard also swimming due to lack of stability. There's a lot of flexibility in the lower back and being in
Mm.
this sort of position all the time. I don't know, but who knows? But it never happened until I was 45 after, after like a really, I was in a physique contest and I was eating a lot of crap, a lot of protein powder, a lot of chicken breast, like really
Mm-hmm.
convenient store food for about
Mm-hmm.
6 to 8 months. And then just one day I woke up and I couldn't pull my leg up. It was stuck and
Mm.
yeah, it was painful.
And
Um,
so 2 years basically it took you to get over it.
yeah, on
And
and off. Yeah.
did you find some exercises that finally helped you get over the hump, or did it just go away?
I changed my diet. So I was reading about elimination diets and I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of more ketogenic style at the time. And I was invited to do I was in a musical for 10 years in Japan, touring around, and there was a 30th anniversary where they invited me back. It's like, I don't know if I can do it. And there's a trampoline scene. Where there's, these little rebounder things. And I thought, that's probably not going to work. I can't promise that I can do that. So just that kind of the bottom end. But I remember I was drinking like bulletproof coffee at the time, like
Mm-hmm.
during all those rehearsals. And at that time I could do it. I could do it's not like hip hop dancing, but it's kind of, I don't know what you compare it to, like
Mm-hmm.
Sesame Street Live kind of thing, something like that.
Okay.
I've never been to one, but I'm just guessing. But it worked its way out. And I read a book by Dr. Joe or John Sarno called How to Heal Back Pain or something. I was looking for every possible way to fix it. And he just basically, he described me sort of to a T, like, this is the type of personality that gets this.
Mm-hmm.
I started a new job. I started a business on my own, invested like 50 grand in this business. And he said, it's fear. So his point was, you're dealing with a big fear of something. And then that's what caused it. What you need to do is start walking. You need to start jogging. You need to get over your being a wimp and get out and start moving. That's kind of his thing. And I started doing that. And I changed my diet simultaneously, and suddenly
Mm-hmm.
it started getting better pretty quickly. So,
Wow.
and yeah, so far so good. My diet's probably as clean as it can get right now. Yeah, nothing.
You're doing the carnivore thing, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, it's I think 25 days in now.
Nice.
It's powerful. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't say much about it because I'm new to it, but there are things that are changing. And I cut caffeine. I cut all caffeine as well. I cut a lot of things. Even hard training, like I do ATG, just the zero right now. So it's like 30 minutes, 35 minutes a day. So that, and I'm also working with a guy named Misha Sakharoff, which Keegan had mentioned in, I don't know if you've seen that. He works with cancer patients, and it's a Russian guy in Copenhagen. It's just like blown me away. It's breath. So it's the very first thing is, I'm thinking nutrition. Like when I work with clients, it's like, get the nutrition right. Then these aches and pains start to diminish, inflammation. This guy's like, Bodhi, no, you're wrong. It's breath. What would we die of first? Lack of oxygen, right? We can last for, 30 days or something without food, but oxygen, about 3 to 10 minutes. He's like, get the breath straight. So it's Buteyko breathing. And that's what we're doing now. It's a year program. I just joined about a week and a half ago. And every 2 weeks you work on a phase. And this phase is breathing. Next is nutrition. So
definitely I'd like to hear more about the breath work.
Yeah, this guy's, and he's an engineer. He's not a doctor. But couple weeks ago, one of my friends from high school, I found out she's got, I forgot the word, glastio something. It's a brain tumor, a severe one. But kind of no hope for recovery. And her husband's is also a classmate of mine. And I just thought, I can't just sit here and just, I wanted to do something, but I didn't want to intrude as well. So I dug into different experts, and I found Misha. I thought, wow, this he's got heart, and he's onto something. So I just joined his 1 year program, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's like, okay, this is the diet. You will have no carbohydrates for the next year. That's the way it goes. So,
so I got a question.
Yeah.
Before I really started studying the carnivore diet, which makes a lot of sense to me.
Right.
I was very interested in the Okinawan diet.
All right.
Because apparently those are the oldest living people on the planet.
Right.
And obviously they're not carnivore.
They're not.
They have gardens and they eat rice and tofu.
They do.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a connection. Actually, it's great timing because Hitomi and my wife went to Okinawa twice this year. With COVID, we can't leave the country. We used to go to Hawaii. We're kind of tropical people. We like beautiful beaches and warm water and warm air. I think a lot of people like that, but yeah. So no leaving Japan. So where do we go? Okay. So every 3 months we take a 1 week vacation. So end of March, we were in Okinawa, the main island, Naha, where, which is like 70% US military base. I didn't know that. They have apple pie. They have like A&W root beer. They've got all sorts of stuff that we don't have in Japan. But yeah, it's a beautiful place. And we spent a week there, came back, and then we went to Miyakojima, which is an island further south, closer to Taiwan. To answer your question, I think first and foremost, it's community.
Yeah.
I think it's that they're happy people. They smile, they're not originally Japanese. They were made Japanese by the Japanese, right? This is World War II or before that. They were part of Kyushu, which is the large island just above Okinawa. Honshu is where I'm at. That's Tokyo and Osaka and Hiroshima. And then Kyushu is this island that kind of comes down from it, close to Korea. But Kyushu, I think, was part of their region, I guess. They took it over basically. But I think it's Okinawan people are Hawaiian. They're island people, like Hawaiians are, like Filipinos are.
Gotcha.
There's a different vibe, right? It's more laid back, and so I think that's number one. There's drinking is Okinawa is associated with heavy drinking, which is kind of interesting.
It's funny. I read there's like 5 zones they call blue zones in the in the world, and Okinawa obviously being one of them. And they said, the community is huge. That they usually drink. They're not afraid to toss a couple back.
Right.
As well as their diet, But
I read that was taro imo, the taro potato, I think is something that was one of the reasons for their longevity.
Yeah, and I also heard there's a fruit that they eat that they make in desserts and they make into like a drink. I can't remember what the fruit's name is.
Huh.
Actually,
Not
I have
sure.
it's in my book. I have the Ikigai book. Have you heard the Ikigai?
Yeah, ikigai. Yeah, that's a Japanese word.
It just happens to be sitting right here. I'm sure I've dog-eared it. Tofu, miso, tuna, carrots, goya,
Goya.
kombu.
Hmm.
Let's see, cabbage, nori, onion, soy sprouts, hechima, soybeans, sweet potato peppers, and the jasmine tea that they drink.
Oh, right.
Okay. Oh, here it is.
Hmm.
I'm gonna murder the pronunciation.
That's fine.
Shikuwasa.
How could I
Citrus
miss
fruit.
that? Shikwasa. Yeah. How could I miss that? It's a little like
Come on, man.
lime. It's really sour lime with sort of big seeds in it. How could I miss that? That's so funny.
That's
Shikwasa.
something I really want to try.
I could send some over.
Send some
Sure, we
over,
could
man.
send
That'd be
some
awesome.
It's like a sour. Yeah, it's a type. It's citrus. A lot of different types of citrus in Japan.
Okay.
All kinds like that we don't have, in the States.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, shikwasa. Yep. Yeah, that's good stuff. Goya is really famous. Do you know what Goya is?
I think there's a brand Goya over here, isn't there? In the United States.
Maybe. Almost think that's a Mexican thing.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah.
Goya is a gourd. It's really kind of ugly looking. Almost looks like an alligator in a way. It's kind of bumpy and it's
Okay.
ultra bitter.
Okay.
It's the heat. It keeps the heat down, right? Bitter foods make you cooler. So I don't like it. There's something called Goya champur, which is
bitter melon.
Yeah, it's not a melon. It tastes like what would it be like? Like a zucchini that's like really
Or like a squash type of thing.
Yeah, more like a squash.
Okay.
So I have to get you to Okinawa. It's a great place. And yeah, I could go there over and over. The people are nice.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's like Hawaii. The ocean's beautiful. It's calm. It's not really a surfing place. It's more like a chill out.
Right.
So yeah.
Definitely on the list.
So yeah, that's interesting. What's that? It's on the list. Yep.
On the list of places to go. Yeah.
Right. All right. So could you tell us about being pain-free? So you're a chiropractor. I mean, you have a depth of knowledge about being pain-free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could you share, may I ask your age?
51.
51, 50.
Okay.
Right there, right up with you. When's your birthday?
April 12th.
Okay.
70.
70. Me too. 70. December 5th. Almost 51. Could you share your take on pain-free, like wherever it takes you? Just
Well, I think you already touched on it with the diet. I think that's the biggest part to be able to get the inflammation out of your body. I think that's what causes the pain.
It's huge, isn't it?
And then I would say mobility. You know what Ben is teaching us with the full range of motion.
Right.
You know, so the first time in this 4-month period that I had that back pain, the first time I got rid of it with those 2 exercises, the pain started coming on again. I got a little, I guess I quit doing my workouts for a few days and got pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, I wasn't moving around much. So I started doing the split squatting. I'm like, well, I better get going again. Started doing the split squat and my elephant walk. And I would it feel a little bit better, but wasn't going away. So I started just squatting on the ground, just squatting,
right,
full squat, cheeks to sneaks, and just staying in that position for 5-10 minutes. And then the back pain started going away again.
It does, huh?
So I think that full range mobility and like, you know, how you would get down to the ground if you didn't have a chair. So instead of sitting to put my dog collar on before I take her for a walk, or bending over, hinging at the waist, I just get in the full squat position.
Right.
And I've been playing with my kids more that way. So I think those two are the biggest things for being pain-free.
It's so interesting. You said that and it just triggered a memory when I was talking about this musical I was in, this 30-year anniversary thing. This is after this flare up. I would actually sit in a full squat when I was off stage, because sometimes scenes you actually have time to, I would sit at the bottom of a full squat until my next scene would come, and that would relieve a lot of pressure. The show is like 90 minutes. It's quite long, and you're even just standing that long sometimes can put pressure on the L5.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I did the exact same thing. That was
Just feels so good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To
Is it
get
because the
down there,
pelvis gets under? Maybe it stretches it out, or I'm not
yeah,
sure.
kind of elongates your
Right.
lower back.
Right. That's a good one, huh? So
Yeah,
elephant
and
walk.
I probably at 45, I started practicing that a little bit over the last few years, even before I met ATG. But I think when I was probably 45, I couldn't do that. Or if I did, I could be down there for like 30 seconds and it would just hurt.
Right.
And then I started reading about ground dwelling societies, how they live longer.
Right.
Okinawan would be in one of them.
Right.
And I was like, well, I got to start practicing this. And now I just do it all the time. It just feels so good.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I had a client ask me, because I was showing this person's from China. He's like, I've never seen a white guy do that before. Sit down in the bottom of a squat like that. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
He said, how'd you learn to do that? I said, I'm a trainer. I gotta do things other people can't do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's music to my ears, man. Diet. I mean, diet is like that. Yeah, that's what I would say too.
It's huge.
Yeah, awesome.
And I think
go ahead.
then you can add sleep into that.
Right.
Quality sleep.
Definitely. Yeah.
Restorative sleep.
How is your sleep? Are you sleeping enough?
I think I get enough sleep. It's not always we talk about people that those long living cultures, how they drink, but if I have something to drink, I don't sleep very well.
Right.
I toss and turn, and then I'm foggy the next day and I'm crabby.
Right. Right.
So that's interesting, but usually I try to do my best. I try to get off the devices a couple hours before bed and read instead. No
Good.
TV, no phones and computers. Check it here and there. Maybe if someone's messaging me, I'll check the phone, but I try to kind of stay away from that.
Right.
I usually have some tea, some sleepy tea, chamomile, I guess.
Right.
I'll put some essential oils in. I make sure there's no lights in my bedroom whatsoever, like even the littlest light. Make sure there's a piece of tape over it or something.
Right. Same.
I think that even just that light can trigger signal in your brain if your eyes see that.
Right.
Yeah, and then exercise obviously helps you get a good sleep too.
Right.
So
I've noticed with this diet, this carnivore, last night I went to bed early so that I would get extra sleep. I was going to aim for 8 hours, and I woke up less than 7 hours, wide awake, like 4:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Is this really 4:30? I looked, it was wide awake. So yeah, the digestion, they talk about that, and I finished my last meal before 4 p.m. Like I'm done eating for the day. It's just,
I think
sleep.
7 hours is good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I want to ask you about, so one big thing that I like to ask people about is a why, your why. I like this poem, and I don't remember who wrote it. It might be anonymous, but have a why that makes you cry. And I just thought that's such an amazing, powerful statement. So I wanted to ask you to share any whys that make you cry.
Mm-hmm. The last time I actually cried because of what was happening, and I don't know what you think even. I don't know what your listeners think.
Right.
But when this whole COVID thing happened and we were all locked down and couldn't go anywhere and do anything, I was working out in my garage because the gym was closed. So I just work it out in my garage and I'm playing music and I started crying. I'm so frustrated. Because I didn't think it was right that we were made to do that. I thought there was other reasons at play that maybe that we were forced to do that, at least for so long.
Right.
And so freedom, it just really gets me going, the ability to choose.
Huge, right?
Really gets me emotional.
Yeah, America was, I was shocked about how America handled the whole COVID thing. It's just, I didn't think anybody's gonna wear masks even. Like, it's like everyone's doing it. Everyone is like, wow, really?
So
freedom. Yes.
Freedom. Braveheart.
Yes. I saw that movie 2 days in a row. I was so moved the first time. I went right back the next day and watched it again in the theater.
Yeah, there's another Mel Gibson film. I think it might be called The Patriot.
Yes, I saw that too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There's
a clip someone shared with me. I seen the movie, but it's been a while. But someone shared a clip from that movie with me where he's got his musket and he's standing behind a tree, and he says something like, "Give me grace and speed." He's praying, and his two little boys are behind a log over there, and they got guns, and they're probably like 8 and 10.
Right.
I'm just getting the chills right now.
I get the chills too, man. That's
right.
So, wow.
And so as he's going to save his other boy, who's a teenager that's been captured by the redcoats.
Right.
And oh my gosh, I'm bristling. That's that scene of that movie where he saves his son, rescues his son from the British.
Right.
Another freedom kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, wow, this is like it's a Braveheart patriotic USA version, right? Yeah.
My kids, when I think about how I hope to have a relationship with them as they grow older, especially in this country, I think I don't know about Japan. I think there's more tight knit. The family might be more tight knit. I don't know, but here a lot of families get fragmented. They go their separate ways, and they might live in other sides of the country. And I just hope my kids go to college somewhere close.
Right.
I just want to be part of their life, and
sure.
And so that gets me going.
The two girls, right?
2 little girls, 5 and 8.
Nice.
Yep.
That's when they're the cutest, right? Like between 5
Oh
and
man,
8.
they're just starting to get to the age where that when they're young, it's for me. I had kids older, being 51, so it's just kind of hard getting into. Oh, I don't know, not connecting, but just I don't know how to put it. But now that they're getting older, and I'm just really enjoying them right now. I guess
that's awesome.
Watching them learn, and they come home and they talk about bugs that they're learning about. And it's just like, wow, that's really cool. You guys are learning that. If you remember that, you're teaching me stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So I hope that can always continue.
Yeah, I don't have children, but I worked with my previous musical job was with children. So about 10 years, that was my work. So It's really nice to connect with kids, and they do teach you a lot of things.
Oh man.
Tons, right?
Mm-hmm.
My wife has 2 boys that as well. So I think Takeru's 9. So he'll come and we play baseball and catch and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
He does all the things that I couldn't do when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a phase where I was like, he's doing everything that I wanted to do but wasn't able to do as a kid. So that kind of brought up some stuff in me. Like he just asks when he wants something, he just asks for it. You know, no hesitation, no, just like, this is what I want. It's like, kids not supposed to wait a minute, you know.
Yeah, kind of no filter. It's like,
yeah, and that's great.
It's like
That's great. Yeah. All right. So freedom.
Yeah.
Your lovely ladies.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that
I think, you know, there's when I see someone work so hard and overcome adversity to accomplish their goals, it really hits me too. Whether that be training for an event or maybe overcoming addiction, you know, reconnecting with a family member that they maybe had an argument with, even that, you know, just overcoming adversity and accomplishing goals and moving forward in life and growing, seeing that can get me pretty emotional.
No pressure, but is there anything or anyone that you've worked with that has had something like that was really like, wow, just, is there anything?
Yeah. Personally, I mean, personally that I worked with and helped along,
Right.
Someone with addiction, and they kicked that, and yeah,
Probably.
amazing.
Life-changing.
It's
right?
hard for people because I think they think they're giving up a certain part of them that they're so comfortable with in lifestyle, you know, pubs they hang out in, and you know, it's what they know.
Right.
So you give up a lot of friends, even people.
Sure.
People won't call you anymore, maybe because you don't drink anymore.
That's how you change your tribe, right?
You know, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of levels to do that.
Right.
But I think that's what you know, if there's a purpose in life, it's, you know, that's it's to reach, it's a higher, you know, we have these higher callings, I think.
Yep.
You know, there's more important things than just going to the pub. You know.
Yeah.
There's more important things for me than to see a patient over and over and over again if I know something that's going to help them
Right.
better. Even though it's different, it's not what I've been trained to do. You know, I have to say, put my ego aside and say, oh, you know what? Even though this is what I've been doing and pretty much what I know for the last 20 years.
Right.
Is there something better? Yeah. And then I think if you can do that, then I think you said earlier, like other things are going to open up for you.
Yeah.
And I just messaged a friend the other day, or what was it, yesterday, 2 days ago. Then I ran into her husband the following day. They have a gym.
Right.
He said, you know, we're looking for a new coach, and my wife she actually wants to sell the business in a couple of years.
Wow. Opportunity.
Like, you know, there's an opportunity to teach. Maybe not. Maybe that will work out. We're going to meet tomorrow. We're going to sit down and talk about it tomorrow.
That's cool. These things happen. That's when you make these kind of decisions. It's courageous. Things open up.
Yeah.
Is there any? I think you have another why. You talked. We talked. Yeah.
Oh, the why I do what I do.
Oh, not just that, but the the help you're giving to men right now. You've got a group, you said.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, it's funny. Yours is called 2.0, man.
Yeah.
It's called Second Half Success.
Right. I changed the name just the other day. I thought it was optimized, and I thought 2.0 actually is like, I like that. Yeah, just more strict. It's less, right? I like to minimize things. Second
Yeah, my
half.
second half success, because second half of our life. Yeah, I think a lot of men get into this midlife crisis phase of their life.
Right.
Maybe they don't feel as fit as they used to, or you know, maybe they're stuck in a career, or they're just stuck.
Right.
And I think a lot of men just kind of get bitter in the later years of their life and give up, maybe.
Right.
So I don't think we have to do that. I think there's still a lot to be done, to learn. We can get better, feel better physically,
Right.
our diet and the things we already talked about. And so just being encouraging and being there for those men to help them navigate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that? It's a new project?
It's been, I guess, about 8 months now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it started small, and it just kind of building. Mm-hmm.
8 months. That's great. It's like a weekly meeting, or is it, how is it set up?
Yeah, we have a weekly Zoom meeting. And then we talk about a discipline in a workout schedule. So disciplining yourself to train and work out, disciplining yourself on diet, and being able to do those two things, kind of, you can take that discipline into other areas of your life.
Sure.
And so
that's great.
Yeah. And we just kind of talk about that motivation mindset when we get together and talk one-on-one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
May I ask the price? Like, what's the fee?
It's well, for a month it's $297.
Okay.
And then if people sign up for additional months, then I make a discount for commitment.
All right. Awesome.
Discount for commitment.
That's cool.
3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, there's nothing better than, seeing it, a guy who is overweight and now he's at the pool and he's in his 50s, he's got a shirt off and he's got abs, and
Right.
everybody else is sitting around eating chicken wings and drinking a beer and thinking like, whoa.
Yeah. How do you do that?
How do you do that? Hey, you look great,
That's awesome.
And then their kids are fired up for them, right? And their wife's like, yeah, that's my man.
That's right.
Things are getting better for him, right?
Right.
He's feeling confident.
Oh, that's so cool. That's basically we're doing the same thing, more or less.
Yeah.
So just helping guys get more. Here's some ways to get better. Once these get better, like your nutrition and your training, okay, we can go into your vision or your why, or how to be. I think you use the word meaningful life. I use purposeful. So it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Just feel that you're on purpose, right?
You're going to help somebody, and then somebody's going to ask them.
Right.
And they're going to help somebody. Right.
Just had a client. We just signed up a new client the other day. The reason she came is because one client that I worked with had lost it was 40 pounds. He's a really good friend. I think he's from Oregon, I think, originally, not Washington.
Okay.
But I was so happy. The girl came in, and then it's like, how did you find us? And usually I live in the neighborhood. I Googled you. I met Matt, and he impressed me so much with his transformation. I had to find out who helped him do it. And it's like, okay, that gave me the chills. That probably made me cry for a second too. Just like, that's the best form of marketing you can ever have. Change somebody's life and have somebody notice it, recognize them, and then think, I'm going to change mine too. Yep. So awesome, man. What's that? I didn't catch that. What you just said.
That's the highest
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
the highest compliment you can get.
Right. It
Yeah.
is. You have anything in closing? We'll have to wrap it up, but if you have anything you'd like to share at the end, please.
I don't know if this really pertains to anything, but something weird's been happening lately.
Hmm.
I've been just kind of pondering this, second half success, these years of my life. And
Right.
I'll be out walking and I'll be thinking about these things. And all of a sudden I'll look up and I'll see geese flying.
Geese. Oh.
And it's happened, Bodhi, like 4 or 5 times in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of like, what?
Mm.
And I'm not really superstitious,
Right.
but I wonder, I just looked up the symbolism of geese.
Okay. What is it?
So, the Celtic tradition,
That's
you. That's my ancestry.
Yeah.
They liken the wild goose to the Holy Spirit.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not religious. I'm not,
Right.
I was brought up Catholic, but I don't practice Catholicism.
Same here.
And then, so I looked it up and there's this quote: "The wild goose is always on the move, always doing unexpected things. It is loud, passionate, sometimes frightening, and certainly unsettling."
Wow.
Like,
That's awesome.
Hits home a little bit.
I believe that totally. These kind of things, like, especially if it's something you didn't notice before and suddenly it's happening like this. Yeah. That's cool. It's time to soar.
Yes. Yep. It's time to soar. It's time to be courageous. Take those steps forward. Believe in yourself.
Yep.
Trust in yourself. Trust in the universe. Everything that happens to us happens for a reason. It's something to learn from it. And our biggest challenges are sometimes our biggest blessings.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Take it and go with it.
Yeah. Awesome. That's cool. So it sounds like, yeah, I mean, the truth thing, like with the gym and all these things, kind of like maybe you won't be a chiropractor at some point and you'll just be helping men like this. And that's part of your why, right? I mean, seeing people overcome things that they thought they couldn't. That's huge. And there's the freedom right there. Then
that's right.
Yeah. How do we find you? Do you have a website, or do you have the second half? Is there a place people can go and find you?
Most of my journaling, I guess, is on Instagram.
Instagram. Okay.
Yeah. And if people want to DM me on Instagram, I'll respond immediately. I got a new moniker from Knees Over Toes guy.
Okay.
Did I tell you about that?
No.
Okay. So he had his first seminar ever in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And I went to that.
Okay.
And I'm pushing the sled.
Right.
And he goes, "Hey, get your toes behind your knees." He yelled it over, and everybody there was kind of a giggle. And I go, "Toes behind the knees?" He goes,
I saw that.
He goes, "There's room in the marketplace still for a toes behind the knees guy." And we all kind of laughed. Yeah. And I go over to him. I go, "Were you serious about that?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm serious about that." I go, Would you be pissed if I use toes behind the knees guy?" He goes, "No, I would not be pissed."
I saw that, Sean. I actually saw that and thought, that's really clever. Toes behind the knees. Toes behind knees. The knees.
Toes behind the knees guy.
Toes behind the knees guy. All right.
You make sure that's what it is.
That's your Instagram.
Toes behind knees guy.
Toes behind knees guy. All right.
Behind knees guy. Yeah.
I'll put it in the notes so people.
It's so fresh. I had to look it up myself.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah. I got a picture. One of my last post is a picture of my daughter. So if you want to see what makes me cry,
yeah,
my latest post, you'll see that.
We'll check it out. I'm going to connect with you too, because I don't think we're connected on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Sean. You're the real deal, man. True. I can feel you. I got the chills when you're talking about certain things. I got the chills throughout the whole talk today. So it's a 1970s.
I appreciate you, man. I can't wait to meet in person.
Likewise.
Give you a big hug.
Yep. Same here, man.
All right, brother.
All right, brother.
Thanks for having me.
I'll see you.
Take
man.
care.
You too. Cheers.